Hi, my name is Candace Mosley, and I am currently a student in OCED 5360E, Organization Development in the Workplace. Today, I want to talk briefly about succession planning, or what I would like to call the success in planning. Succession planning is a type of intervention used in organization development on the organizational level. Samiz and Lambert have described succession planning as the process of developing a written plan for an occasion when an owner decides or is forced to step down from an ownership and leadership role in the business. The purpose of a succession plan is to make sure the business or organization continues in the event the current leadership changes voluntarily or involuntarily. The most typical examples of a voluntary change would be retirement, whereas death or being incapacitated would be examples of involuntary change. According to McLean, there are 4 steps which must take place when creating a succession plan. The first step would be identifying key positions within the organization. These are the roles that run the organization or business. Common key positions are CEOs, owners, general managers, and presidents. After identifying the key roles, it must be determined what are the qualities needed from an employee to fill the key positions. Some examples of qualities needed could be leadership experience, knowledge of project development, and an ability to manage finances, etc. Step 3 of succession planning calls for an assessment of the talent pool available. During this time, leadership and management take inventory on who is working within the company. Qualities being looked for are usually experience, career goals, special skills, and ability. Step 3 is the critical step in the planning process because it gives leadership a clear idea of what steps must be taken next. Leadership will either have to hire a successor from outside the company if no current employee is qualified, or work on development from within. This brings us to the 4th and final step, development of employees who are deficient in critical areas. If it is determined there is an employee within the organization who has potential to become the next successor but is lacking in critical areas, it is imperative this employee goes through leadership development. Methods commonly used to develop employees would be attending professional developments, trainings, seminars, or being assigned a mentor. Levitt suggests a few additional ways to increase leadership development include rotation through different job assignments, involvement in corporate activities such as attending board meetings, and in addition, helping with strategic planning. The major strength of succession planning, if done correctly, allows the organization to continue on. No good leader wants to see a company or organization they have spent time and devotion towards go under. A well thought out succession plan will ensure the company is being left in qualified hands. In addition, succession planning saves time and frustration during the transition. Changing of leadership can be a stressful and chaotic time for an organization, but it doesn't have to be. Having a plan already in place helps for an easier transition and eliminates uncertainty. One of the biggest weaknesses with succession planning is actually getting leadership to write the plan down. If you recall, in the definition, I said succession planning was the process of developing a written plan. Common reasons leadership don't write a formal plan is they believe they have time, don't plan on leaving the organization anytime soon, or don't want to consider the possibility of someone other than themselves running the organization. An additional weakness in succession planning is not having qualified individuals to become the next successor. If there is no one to step in, the succession plan does not work. A third weakness for succession planning is it can create disharmony within an organization. This is something leadership will try to avoid if at all possible, especially if it is a family-owned business. And family-owned businesses sometimes, to keep peace within the family, you will see there are co-successors. Levitt suggests there are occasions where having co-successors is good for an organization, but typically having co-successors means leadership was unwilling to make a difficult decision. A real-life situation where a succession plan was used within a well-known organization is with Apple. Steve Jobs, who was the co-founder of Apple, served as a CEO from 1997 until 2011. In 2011, Steve Jobs was diagnosed with a form of terminal cancer, which caused him to involuntarily step down from his role within the company. Tim Cook, who had been Apple's chief operating officer, was named as Steve Jobs' successor. Cook was chosen for his proven experience, working knowledge within the company, as well as his ability to lead. Since taking over Apple in 2011, the company has continued to be, if not the most important tech company in the world. This is an example of effective succession planning and how, if it does well, the organization continues to grow. A second example of succession planning being used is with Phil Knight, who is the founder of Nike. Mr. Knight voluntarily retired in 2016 after 52 years. Mark Parker, who had been Nike's president and owner since 2006, became the new chairman of Nike board once Knight retired. In a 2015 interview with Footwear News, Knight was quoted as saying, "I have long felt a great responsibility to provide clarity and certainty for the long-term governance and leadership of Nike, and for my ultimate transition as chairman. I have worked closely with the Nike board in developing this plan and identifying the most qualified person to serve as my successor in this role. I believe Mark is the best choice." Until this day, Nike is internationally known for their shoes, clothing, and partnership with various sports teams, both collegiate and professional. I have found 3 short, informative videos on succession planning I encourage you all to view if you're interested in learning more about this intervention. My references for this lovely presentation can be found here, along with 2 websites which offer additional information on how to go about preparing a succession plan. And that is all I have for you guys. Thank you for your time and attention.